a quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 104.
Woo!
Woo! My name is Lars Casteen. I'm the Golden Tyrant, and I'm here today to shepherd you into a world of fantasy delights. A tabletop role-playing game.
Like the Willy Wonka of this show.
Come with me.
Does that make us Oompa Loompas?
What? Yeah,
Does
you're
that make
the
us-
It makes us the kids.
Oh, no.
You're the kids, and all of your characters are going to turn into blueberries or something, right? What a horrible
No,
fun that
I'll
was.
be Augustus Gloop and get stuck in the chocolate. That sounds pretty awesome.
That kid knew how to do it. You know who else knows how to do it? It's Robin Lange.
Hello!
Hi.
Good that time.
Good that time. Armat Humphreys is also here.
Hello, good that time.
Zoe Chernicoff is here.
Howdy, good that time.
And David the Tin Man Chernicoff is here as well.
Good that time, everybody.
Good that time, everybody.
Only slightly distracted by our website.
Yes, you may know that we record this podcast a little bit ahead of time. If you recall episode 100, you know that we breathlessly announced, like, guys, we got a website now. This episode is the one where we are desperately trying to figure out how to make that website actually work.
Now I got to cash that check.
Now we got to actually do it because episode 100 is coming out in a few days.
Now, wait a minute. I don't want to overstate the case.
Okay.
The website's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
It is.
Everybody has
It
been
is,
able to be
yeah.
to check it out for at least 4 weeks now, hopefully.
Everything's good with the website, even back in time. Good this time, right here.
Good
Sure.
that.
There's just a few details that we want to tend to make sure that everybody has a smooth
Yeah.
experience. For example, if you order something on the merch store, it can be shipped to you. That sort of thing. We just want to make sure it's all
Are we
there
going
for you because we love
Back
you.
to the future by doing this? What direction in time are we traveling?
Yeah, we're going
Well,
back
everyone
in the
who
future.
hears this, it will have been not an issue for a month already. It's an odd thing to be discussing.
Zoe, we have been talking for a while
Mhm.
about what it is that we're talking about in our fun little pre-game segment today. And you have a question you've been sitting on for a while. It's a question that is burning you up.
This is a question I've been sitting on for a long time. I once even wrote an essay on it in 7th grade. So I've been sitting on this for a long time. I feel like everyone here has been a New York City dweller, a city dweller. It doesn't have to be New York specific. But guys, talk to me. Where are the baby pigeons? Why do you never see baby pigeons?
Oh, that's a great question.
Where are they?
Whoa.
Never. Has
Where do
anyone
ducks
ever seen
go
a
in
baby
the
pigeon?
winter?
What?
Where do ducks go in the winter?
Well, they freeze in the pond. Now we're holding coffee. That one's been done.
Yes. Thank you for getting my reference.
Well, Zoe, I don't have an answer to your question, but I do have a little bit of a story, which is that recently...
But I do have an evasive distraction.
recently, a mourning dove set up shop, started hanging out a lot on my air conditioner
In my daughter's crib.
in my daughter's crib, and I have lice now. No, the situation is
What? Ew.
that there is a mourning dove that it's not quite a pigeon, but it's like the gentleman's pigeon here in New York
Mhm.
City.
Sure.
And I don't know the answer to your question yet, but I do think that there's a good chance that this mourning dove may set up like a nest and have a little BB babby hanging out right outside my window. So I might know soon.
This reminds me, I have actually seen. So my boss or my department head had this for a while, this lovely little office that was essentially a closet, but it had one window with an AC, and some pigeons roosted there and built a nest on the side of the AC. And so we actually watched these baby pigeons.
So you've seen them.
Yes, I forgot
take
about it
pics?
until just this moment. No, I
Pics
wish
or
I
didn't
had.
happen?
They don't show up in
Robin?
pictures. They're like vampires in the Buffy the
I
Vampire
know, but that's the
Slayer
thing.
series.
They find basically spots between buildings, and that's where they roost and nest, and that's why you never see them otherwise.
There are so many of them. How can they possibly all do that?
There's a lot of nooks and crannies in New York City, dude. The city of nooks and crannies.
That's what they call it, the city of nooks and crannies.
The city of brotherly nooks.
And sisterly crannies.
The windy cranny.
The windy cranny.
Windy cranny.
Armat, have you ever seen a baby pigeon before?
Well, it's actually funny. No, I haven't seen a baby pigeon, but the other day I was walking Hank and I came across two little fledglings that had just fallen out of their nest
Oh no.
and were tiny. They were the size of eggs and were just hunched up and shaking a little bit. It was really cute.
What'd you do? Did you help them out?
No, I didn't want to do that because I had in my head that thing if you touch baby birds, their mother won't.
No, it's true.
take
You have
them
to be
back, so-
super. What you essentially need to do, though, because you do need to get them back in the nest, but it's tricky because you need to have some sort of. You need to essentially get them in a box and then find where the nest was and get them back in the nest that way, or
got
leave
it.
them, or essentially put them in a box so that then the mother bird can go find them again.
Or have
but if they're
an
not
enormous
flying,
bulldozer come down and scoop them up and put them in their nest? No? Are You My Mother?
This
No
isn't
one?
Are You My Mother reference.
That is-
I'm just
Yeah.
going to close
Yeah,
the
wait,
loop on
Wait,
that.
let's flesh this out. What's this bulldozer deal? Is this just that's
Yeah.
the safest
Well,
way
it's
to
a
touch
snort.
something?
We can call it the snort.
What? Why would we call it that? That's even more
Lars, you have
confusing.
children. How have you not read this book?
I don't.
Are You My Mother?
What? Okay. There are a lot of
Come on,
balls up in
Lars.
the air
Are you?
right now.
Are You My Mother?
Okay, let's answer
Are
all
you
these
my
questions
mommy?
one by one so that listeners have any chance of figuring out what's going on. Am I Zoe's mother? No. What is the snort?
Lars, that was a perfect opportunity to use reveal machinations.
Oh, yes.
That you are, in fact, Zoe's mother.
Yes.
Bum, bum.
The legendary deception skill feat in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Reveal Machinations, where you
there
tell
is
the
a-
enemy that you are their mother and they freak out and become frightened 3. It's good. It's a good one.
There's a classic children's book called Are You My Mother that features a baby bird falling out of its nest and speaking to a series of creatures to determine if they are its mother. Ultimately, it encounters a bulldozer. It's one of those stories that as an adult you read and you're like, well, this would never go down this way. And
Sure.
the bulldozer makes a snort noise, so it calls it a snort, and the bulldozer happily lifts it back up and puts it in its nest just in time for the mother bird to return.
Oh.
So it wasn't actually David's mother, because I thought David's mother did something with a bulldozer. When you said something about mothers, I
That
thought
would
that
be
we
so
were
cool. Babe,
revealing
did your mom
some...
ever do anything with a bulldozer?
Yep, all the time.
Okay, let's move on to our review section, guys.
That's when they called her Windy Cranny.
That's right. My dear mother, Windy Cranny.
I love you, Mom. She's not listening.
Well, you know who is listening is all of the great folks out there in our community helping the show out, supporting us by doing the thing that is most helpful for helping us out. It's helpful for helping, guys.
Woo!
Leaving reviews on podcast apps. We got a review from Savage Slacker on Apple Podcasts. It's so simple. It's the simplest review. It's easy to do, and it helps us. Here's the review. Give a hoot, give a listen is the subject line. Absolute gold! ! 5 stars. That's how you do it.
That's great.
Aw.
You get in, you get out,
Wow.
you leave 5 stars, and it is genuinely extremely
There should
helpful
be
for us and our show.
A site that lets you review your reviews, because I would give that one 5 stars in return.
Oh yeah, that's a 5-star, 5
Yeah.
star.
It's
For
called
You know what?
Relp.
Savage. What was the second part of it? Savage.
Savage
I
Slacker.
like Trell.
Savage Slacker. I give a hoot about you.
I give a hoot about you too.
You
And
know,
I think your
another-
review is absolute gold.
I was going to say a silver lining, but it's not even a silver lining. It's like a silver cloud because the review was itself so thin. Is that because
In a
it was
good
so
way.
short, it gives us even more time here in this part of the podcast to do bits.
All right. With
Oh, poor
that,
Lars.
let's shut the door on this part of the podcast. And let's get into our game.
Love you, Dad.
Nan.
Ever since AO heard about a supposed transformative process happening here on the 6th floor below Gauntlet, she's been single-mindedly working to put a stop to the strange magical and alchemical experiments that have been happening here since the days of Belcora Haravex. Currently, you're standing in a room filled with operating tables and the remains of countless humanoids. You've just eliminated a pair of corrosive ochre jellies who were roaming through the detritus in this chamber. And as you've looked up afterwards, you've realized that there is a trio of large square holes cut into the ceiling, exactly matching the arrangement of operating tables in a room immediately above you. That room, if you recall, is where you fought the spirit left behind after someone or something vivisected a Morlock and left it there to rot. So the four of you are standing in this room, like I said. There's junk all over it. There's bits of metal, bits of wood, and bones, skulls, etc. You're in the immediate aftermath of having decisively stomped these two jellies. And this room looks as though it may have some additional secrets to reveal to you. So, what would you like to do?
So, looking up, so we see like holes in the ceiling essentially where those tables are. I'm just trying to get a better grasp on the mechanical relationship between these two rooms.
That's exactly right. There was a table here on the western side of the room, a table here on the northern side of the room, and here on the southern side of the room. And the thing about these holes that strikes you is that they are rectangular. Like they are the same shape as the table. They are not, it's not like a circular hole.
So are there like cranks? Like are there chains? Are the tables moving between the two rooms? Or could they have?
Does anybody remember anything about cranks or chains in the room above you?
That was a while ago.
The room above us also had a portcullis. I guess, well, there was also there was that crazy trap contraption that was like full of blades that sliced up the Vadim pretty good, and then
that was a different area.
Yeah, that seems like that was further to the east from here, maybe.
Listen, I don't know the answer to your question, so I'm doing what I do when I don't know the answer to a question, which is just say other things that seem adjacent.
I think that maybe, David, do you want to have Mag do a blind crafting check?
Yes. Yep.
You'd been saying that was what you were interested in.
That was, the next thing I was going to toss out there.
Okay. So, Mag, thinking back to that fight against the Spectre, which was that was a bad moment for Mag. That was when she was taken over by that, like, vengeful spirit.
That was the last fight we had with Vadim, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess
Wasn't
so.
after that fight that Vadim, we decided to go back and Vadim said goodbye to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You recall...
Still haven't really processed that.
Faintly...
At some point we should, perhaps.
Somewhere in Mag's mind, she has a memory of there being a chain with a handle hanging above each of those operating tables.
Oh.
Why would they need to move the tables between these two rooms? I mean, were they doing something down here and then they had to bring them up there so that they could go to the arena? But this floor is this floor is where the arena is. This is very confusing.
Isn't the arena like a half step up?
Well, everyone has been talking. AO has been searching around to see if there's any signs of like, are they doing surgery here? What's going on beyond the tables? Like, what else is in this room?
Yeah. As AO searches around, you don't see any indication of of surgery having been done here, but you do notice that the things that are in this room, like you've been to a lot of places here where bodies have been left and things like that, but you don't detect any organic matter here at all, and yet all of this stuff seems to be underneath these 3 holes.
It seems to David, I guess, that what the bad stuff was happening a floor above, and this is kind of like the
Like trash
we-
drop zone.
exactly. And we know that we've seen Chernicoffs, which seem to be amalgams of like, oh, it's really grisly to say, but sort of like leftover, like spare parts from these experiments. So like if the main thing happens up above, and then stuff kind of like is let through the floor and it gathers here, then maybe it all kind of accreted into those blobs that we fought. Accreted either into the creatures, specific things were taken and made into these flesh warped sort of extra
Or
things, or the behemoth that we haven't yet confronted that's on this floor, and then all the rest of it was kind of amalgamated into those blobs. So there's no trace of anything left because it's all gotten kind of aggregated together into these things we've already seen. I don't know if Mag would be able to, how much of that Mag would be able to put together from
I think
but yeah.
I think the blobs, the ochre jellies, were the disposal system.
Oh, they ate
dropped
the
them
bodies.
down.
Oh,
They consume all
gross!
the
Because there
organic
were like
matter.
bones in there, weren't there?
Yep.
Nice.
Ew.
Green energy.
And as the 4 of you sort of
Kind of like puce energy, right? Or
Right.
whatever.
You just kind of snuck that in there, Zoe. It was great.
Well done. Well done.
Hey, flesh warpers can care about the flesh warping the planet too.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
when you live underground, you have to be really conscious about your composting.
Yeah. Where else are you going to grow your mushrooms?
Thank you.
So just to recap, you've seen these Morlocks waiting in the tavern to have this process happen to them. You've seen the body of a Morlock on a dissection table 1 story above you. And you've seen the remains of all kinds of creatures, humanoid and otherwise, dumped down here into this room with these ochre jellies roaming around, dissolving organic matter. As AO picks through this stuff, you do find a number of interesting items. Nothing particularly valuable, though. You find a few daggers. You find a pick, like a weapon, a pick. So somebody who's been dumped in here has been armed in some way. Supporting that, you find a chain shirt, you find a steel shield, you find a bunch of caltrops, and then you find some more esoteric stuff. A bit of fishing tackle, like a fishing rod, a spyglass. Those 2 look like they may be worth a little bit of money. Then there's 10 feet of linked chain and a set of climbing pythons. And that's sort of as AO takes inventory of the things around the room, that's what you find.
No teeth, Ao says glumly, and leaves the loot around for anyone else who wants it to take.
I have to say, I appreciate how in like just about any game setting, it's so easy to just pick up shit and then resell it to someone. Like, imagine if it was that easy to just walk in somewhere and be like, oh, hey, I got this stuff in my backpack. Do you want to buy it from me?
Unfortunately, our world is enslaved by fiat currency, and the Fed is driving prices up. Funny money, everybody.
Oh boy.
Gold standard.
The tabletop gold standard.
I like the idea that this game develops a Craigslist component where you have to spend like 8 weeks listing stuff to have 4 people say they definitely want it and they're going to be over, but then they don't quite show up. Or they come, but all they have is a $5 bill, but in quarters. And you're like, no, it was listed for $85, man.
No, I'm going to send, my brother's
But
going to
it's
come, but you're
cash.
going to have to Venmo.
Right.
So you're able to tuck the things that look like they're worth really anything into the bag of holding. That's the fishing tackle, the spyglass, and
You mentioned pitons?
pythons are not worth that much money. There are 14 of them. They're worth a copper each.
What is a python?
It's for
Asking
climbing.
for a friend.
It's like,
I obviously know. But
It's for climbing. They're the things that you hammer into the wall when you're climbing, I believe. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you want to hang on
Right.
to those too, just in case you need them?
Mag would like those, please.
So Mag grabs those and puts them in her pouch as well. And that's what you find in this room.
Well, should we move on down the hall? See what's next?
Okay.
As they start to walk down the hall, Trill kind of is closing her eyes a little bit as she walks and doesn't seem to have the same pep that she usually has.
Ayo, I know we're on a mission here, but I'm getting kind of tired.
you know what makes you tired, Trill, is having someone try to take your soul out of yourself and destroy you. Get it together. And she just walks up the hallway.
Can't argue with that one.
That does sound quite exhausting, I have to admit.
It was very definitively stated.
I don't envy having to
That
go
one
through
ever
that.
happened to you on your adventures, pretty boy? She says, whipping around a distance.
No, but there was this one time, and he looks and checks the faces and decides maybe now is not the time for the rest of this story.
Just in case also the light's gone out a bit, it's just because I'm seeing this in Forge and Foundry.
Yes.
Trill remembers cast light on Istin's sword. What do you have, Istin?
Spell staff, a
That's his
staff of
staff.
air.
Yeah.
Thank
Trill's
you.
cast light on his staff of air.
Ooh, much obliged.
Make sure we've got enough light between the
And
four
I think
of us.
Fraum is
Oh,
still
yes.
glowing quietly.
So plenty of light here to go around for sure. The thing that this light illuminates as you step into the hallway, I mentioned this before, they're lower ceilings. It's 10-foot high ceilings. Mag is pretty easily able to, if not run her fingers along the ceiling, jump up and tap the ceiling without much effort at all.
Oh, like a middle school boy?
Listen, that's my business, whether I did that or not. And it will not be aired on this podcast. But the chemical, there's a smell in this hallway. It's a chemical odor. Like something has spilled somewhere, or there's just experiments being done around here. There's some sort of work being done with chemicals. The four of you walk north down this hallway, and you get to a chamber as this hallway opens up into an octagonal room. This room is filled with rust and grime. And you see in the middle of the room is a grate that looks exactly like the grate that you knocked down from the floor above. If you recall, you were in a room with lots of chains on the wall. There was a rusty grate. You touched it with your feet and it collapsed down below. This is that room that grate fell into. So you are directly underneath that chamber, just a little ways south. You can infer from the holding cells where you've fought those Shanrigals.
Oh.
Not
And
the
if we
Erna curse
continued
fight.
the room with the grate, as we went to the end of it, that was where we went to that like entryway area to the Darklands or something, where we fought that ghost.
Entrylands
that
area
the-
to the Darklands where you found
Like there was
fought a
the
ghost.
gate,
No,
like the
that's
gate,
that.
like the gate.
Yeah, that seems a little bit south of where you are now.
Okay.
That's closer to the arena which you saw. Armet, you said the Erna curse. That was on this floor.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
It's getting hard to keep track of all this stuff. My brain
It is.
can only
This
keep
floor
so
and the
many
floor
things.
above are also kind of, they feel really similar. Like sometimes with the other ones, we'd go down a floor and all of a sudden everything was different. It's like, there's no Mitflits here. They're all Morlocks. It's like, okay, got it. But these two seem to be very linked in terms of what's happening, the kinds of things we're finding. It feels like a double decker.
As above,
Bus.
so below.
Oh,
Yeah.
initiate.
An ominous
Language
incantation
there.
from Zoe. Oh no. Yeah,
I would
well,
expect no less.
as you've walked through this area, you have seen things on both of these floors that relate to the business of running this arena. Like, this seems like both the 5th floor and the 6th floor here were integral to this huge arena that you have seen from a couple different vantage points now.
It's fascinating to me that even though now as we're here, there's an entirely different societal structure and things going on, the remains of 1,000 years ago still have so much influence on the space.
Can I tell you, that's my favorite thing about this adventure. Like, that's it. That's my number one favorite thing about this adventure is the way that everything here is something that you can learn about what it was then, what it is now, and you can figure out the story of how we got from point A to point B in almost every single room.
If you know where you've been, you'll know where you're going.
Okay, more ominous incantations.
We shall not cease from exploration.
Okay.
A penny
Okay.
The end
saved
of
is
all-
a penny earned. Earn a cursed.
Earn a curse.
Penny saved is a penny
Ao
earned a curse.
proceeds
penny
into
saved.
the
Is a penny earn a curse.
Ao proceeds into the room with the great, going cautiously, but walking in.
So Ao proceeds cautiously and notices that there are 2 doors here. There's a smaller door leading off to the west that has a small amount of dirt creeping in underneath it. And there's a large double door leading off to the east with no such dirt sign.
A creature of habit, she goes to the door to the west and listens to see if she can hear anything.
Ao presses her ear up to the door and hears nothing.
Let's try this one. There's dirt. Maybe someone was coming and going.
As you're opening this door, what are y'all doing exploration activity wise?
Iston is searching.
It was hiding.
Okay, so is Ao gonna tuck Frown back into her pocket then?
Yeah.
To extinguish that light?
I think Trill's searching as usual as well.
Okay.
Mag will be scouting for enemies.
So you push this door open and you see a natural cavern. It's like sort of a moss-covered, pebble-strewn walkway with natural rock walls on either side leading down a few steps more before the passage turns to the right and extends beyond the reach of your light sources.
Would we remember where the hydras were from? Like, is this line up with the possible water pit that the hydras were in?
I don't know that you would connect the specific water pit of the hydras, but the fact that when you looked down from that hole above the hydras, you saw a natural lake. This natural passageway feels like it could be connected there, although the hydras, you don't get the sense that the hydras are right here.
Gotcha.
Oh, this passageway is creepy. In like a different way than the things we've been working at. I don't know. Is this the way you want to go?
This seems like creatures. I don't think this was the process. I feel like this is something natural or something from the swamp. I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Unless anyone is going to forge ahead, she's going to back out of there and try the other door.
Yeah, that works out for me.
Mag
I think
follows Ao.
Trill's goal right now is just to kind of help Ao figure out what she needs to do.
So she goes over to the door to the east and listens.
So you listen at the door to the east, and you hear a faint sort of murmur on the other side.
Like a happy murmur? Like happy birthday.
Yeah,
to
it sounds
you.
like there's a birthday party happening.
Oh, that's cool. We should.
It doesn't sound like it's a fun birthday party, though. It's like a
No.
Chuck E.
Oh, sure.
Cheese sort of, with no windows sort of situation.
Have we talked about what the E stands for in Chuck E. Cheese? I learned
No,
this one
we
recently.
haven't, but I love it. What does it stand for?
Entertainment.
Yes.
No.
Charles.
Entertainment Cheese.
Entertainment
No, I'm not
Cheese.
kidding. Look it up. It's
No.
real. It's a real thing.
Hey, look
I
it up.
believe it. There's
Just
plenty of
reporting the
lore
facts.
around him.
Yeah.
That's just what the world has had happen to all of us.
That's just what the world did.
That's
That's
just
what
it.
the world wants for us all.
Okay, so there's someone in here. I hear. I don't know. It doesn't sound happy, but there's something going on here. We should go carefully and be prepared to kill every last one of them.
Works for me. Do you want me to take your place up front, by the way? That didn't work out so good in the last fight.
She looks at him and nods and is like fiddling with her new knife
That's a handsome blade.
or kukri. Her bite attack.
A literal bite attack.
What is it? So you push these two double doors open, and you're in a you see a chamber that looks familiar to you. It is a large circular chamber with a set of stairs leading up and a set of stairs leading down. As you step deeper into the room, you can see that there is a metallic platform creating a floor here. You can see that the northern wall of this circular chamber, which looks a lot like the chamber that you saw when you immediately came in to the 5th floor. If you recall, there was a chamber on the 5th floor where you fought a Grothlet, you fought a Gibbering Mouther, and there was a large circular spiral staircase leading down. It looks like this room is that next floor down. The northern wall of this circular chamber is somehow a kind of cloudy window looking out over a large pool in a natural cavern. Like somehow you're able to see through the stone.
Yep.
So maybe that's where the other path led to.
Right, like around.
Oh,
the pool.
right.
I think we found the Hydras.
And you also see two creatures standing here.
Yeah.
One of them is familiar. One of them is not.
Oh, no.
The one that you recognize is a Grothlet. That's a hulking, slug-like creature with a mindless human face locked in an immobile vision of panic. The other creature is a large, worm-like creature, maybe 16 feet long and 2 feet around, with a wet, barbed, triangular mouth
Mm-mm.
ringed with opaque green eyes.
It's kind of pretty, actually. I like the green and the purple together.
It's interesting that you say that because you do sense an intelligence to this creature as you size it up. It's alien, it's otherworldly, but it is not immediately grotesque in the way that you have seen a lot of things here. It's grotesque in a completely different way, which I'll continue to describe now.
Perfect. Thank you.
So this thing is like this big 16-foot long worm, and its body is like sectioned like a millipede, and it has insectoid legs sticking out from each of those sections. The end of the worm has two tentacles that reach out. One of them is waving a longsword back and forth eerily,
What?
and this creature is looking down the stairs vigilantly when it sees you walk into the room, and it turns to you and starts talking.
Of course.
Nice.
As you hear a voice projected into your mind telepathically, and what it's saying to you is, Greetings, adventurers. How does this pleasant day find you?
Trill doesn't understand that.
No.
Trill just looks at everyone else going, what's he saying? Is he going to eat us? Is he going to eat us? What's going on?
I think this is one of the flesh-warping Sugathi would be my
Nang-
guess.
Nang Bonobo, Ao says, very unusually focused, like she's not BSing in the way Norman might. And what she means is, we're searching for someone. We hope you can help us.
Ah, yes, you must be quite a talented adventurer to have gotten all the way here. Welcome, welcome. Who are you looking for?
We come from Otari, and we seek the Sugathi. What is your name?
Ah, you...
Never mind, we don't have time for that, she interrupts. Have you seen the Sugathi?
Have I seen the Sugathi? Well, I myself am a Sugathi. Welcome to the laboratory. Please make yourself at home.
And Ao freezes. Like she's like, she doesn't know what to do. She's in shock.
Is this, what's his name? The head Sugathi? What's the head Sugathi's name?
Jafaki?
Jafaki? Trill,
gotta
again,
ask
Trill
him.
has no idea what's happening, so one of you guys has to ask.
Mag will say, yes, we've heard tell of Jafaki of the Sugathi, who has wrought great works in this place. Is that you?
I'm not Jafaki, but I can take you through him. Please come closer, though. I'd love to get a better look at you.
Oh, we're fine where we are. Thank you. We've been able to admire your handiwork from afar as well, and the custom in our culture is to regard one another from a distance.
As this conversation is happening, you just see the Grothlet sitting there next to the Sugathi, just sort of vacantly going,
Well, is there like they're down in a pit, right? Like, or it's like a little bit below us? Or
No,
it's above us?
you're standing on a stone walkway that then transitions seamlessly into a metal plate that this creature is standing on.
Gotcha. And then there's stairs up one way and down the other.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. This is
okay,
like a
understood.
landing with this strange glassy stone.
It's a round room that looks almost the same dimensions as the keep up above. I wonder if we're like directly underneath that.
Could be.
While Mag has been talking, Ao has sort of, she's got her, she's like fiddling with her kukri at I think waist height, not trying to be obvious, but she's sidled past Mag and Isthan, and she looks at the Sugathi and she goes, why do you do it? Why do you change them?
That's a very interesting question that I would be happy to answer for you. You wanted to see Jafaki. I will take you to him. Come with me. I'll show you the way.
Do we follow?
Yeah, I think we should. Yes, we'd certainly love to better understand the work that you do here. And Mag tries to catch Ao's eye suggestively. The look is meant to communicate, let's get in here. Let's use this. Let's get closer. Let's be smart and find our way inside.
Isthan is also going to sort of mutter under his breath. If we go in with them, then we're dealing with two Sugathi and a Grothlet. If we take care of him here, we're only dealing with one and a Grothlet.
Ao just sort of nods, considering this.
How does Trill feel about this?
Well, Trill's very confused. So all Trill has gotten so far is what
Trill
Trill has
can't
no
hear.
idea what's
Trill has no
happening.
idea.
Trill's the one who's here speaking like demonic. She can't speak under common still. She's a specialist as always. But Trill understood what Istin just said.
And Trill's like, wait. 2? What? Why would there be 2? What do we need to do? Someone... Istin, what's going on?
Oh, right. Okay, so he explains quickly to Trill and catches her up.
And as Istin is explaining this to Trill, and the three of you start creeping closer towards the Sugathi extends its long body towards you a little bit, and you see is sizing you up with its myriad green eyes. And the Sugathi says,
Okay, let's do this.
and you feel your mind suddenly become cloudy and reality starts swimming all around you.
What?
As the Grothlet starts going, "Oh!" and the Sugathi whips forward in a flash, and I need you to roll for initiative. Yeah.
Roll for initiative.
Oh, cool. So it's like Jafaki dead, and so he wants to kill us to take us to Jafaki.
No, he wants to process us, right?
Spare parts.
We're getting anesthesia so we can get turned into spider people or whatever.
Cool.
All right, I am not rolling stealth here. I feel like I can't really roll deception.
I think you're just rolling perception.
Yeah, that seems right.
I can't really argue for occults and Trill trying to understand what's going on here because I
think
didn't say
so.
anything about it beforehand, right?
No, I think this was just they seduced you into giving you something you wanted, and now suddenly there's like a brain fog creeping throughout your consciousness.
I
Feels
don't
right.
like that. Don't like that.
Isn't this fun, guys? Brain
I like
fog.
it.
I like these guys.
You know who's going to lose their mind, and that's Ao.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens. First up, let's talk about initiative rolls. How did Trill do?
A decent 27. 14 on the die. I'm okay with that. Could be worse.
All right. How did Armet? How did Istin do?
Well, speaking of could be worse, Istin got a 4 on the die for a 14. So
Woof.
I guess
Okay.
he was too busy explaining the intricacies of the dialogue between the Sugathi to Trill.
Yeah.
And totally missed it.
I think
She
that
appreciates it, though.
But I think that what happens to Istin is that, like, recalling the details, it's like maybe you start trailing off, like, and then and you realize, maybe you don't what's going on, and maybe that's why you're a little slower on the uptake here.
Absolutely.
Zoe, Ao is certainly motivated to not get surprised here, but how did her initiative do?
Not great. I think she's lost in like her own thoughts and confusion about this process and her own situation. 2 on the die for a 13.
Okay, pretty slow. David, how's Mag doing?
Mag was already ready to fight. At Istin's suggestion, she began sort of preparing herself. And so it's a 19 on the die for Mag, and that's for 29.
So Mag is really fast.
Yeah.
There's one thing I want to point out, just based on the way that your tokens are arranged on this map before we jump into combat. Like I mentioned before, you're in this circular room. There's a Sugathi and this Grothlet, this large segmented worm with this triple pointed mouth, and also a grotesque sort of flesh-warping accident next to it. They're on the eastern side of the room. The three of you are ringed around the walkway on the western side of the room. Trill is a little bit in the hallway, still approaching that. So Trill has not only not understood the conversation, but Trill is also not affected at all by this mind fog. So Trill, in addition to not understanding the conversation, is maybe also confused about why suddenly her friends are like woozy and acting weird.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Something to work with here.
Here we go. It's the beginning of round 1. It is Mag's turn. At the beginning of your turn, I need you to make a saving throw. That saving throw, unfortunately, is a will save, as this mind fog creeps into your consciousness and threatens to throw you off your game.
It's a 16.
Okay, so Mag becomes so disoriented by this fog encroaching on her mind that she becomes confused.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh.
And there's nothing that
well, then-
undoes confusion other than the rolls, right?
Yeah,
Not
but
this
let's
hellhole
keep in
again.
mind that dumb crit card, fumble card was like way, way, way too much. Most confusion effects have a time limit on them.
Like an hour? What's the...
Right. Till the end of your character's life. So this is scary, but I want you to know this is metagaming. I'm just telling you how I feel. This is not broken and dumb like that was, okay? Just so you know. We're not in broken and dumb territory here. But Mag, unfortunately, is confused, which means that she is going to be flat-footed and she's going to start randomly attacking people next to her.
Sorry, how long does this last?
You don't know.
But there's no, but there's also not like a check to get out of it at the end of each turn, like a,
I'll tell you as it comes up. I'm leaving
Got it,
you a
got
little
it,
bit
I
in the
see.
dark.
No, that's fine. And Mag would be too. I'm pleased with it. I want to make sure I know the same amount as Mag and not less.
Right.
Guys, I'm thinking about hero pointing it. I've only got one.
I
but
kind
it
of feel like once I tell you what the thing is, it's too late to hero point it.
then it's too late to hero point it. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but I agree with Lars.
Mag
Yeah,
just, her brain becomes so overtaken and she starts hearing the whispers of the Sugathi in her mind, like,
Who are you even?
just like weird, reverberating, disorienting questions infringing on her, and she's going to pick someone to attack. One
Please hit
is
Istin.
Istin,
Please hit
two is
Istin.
Trill.
Ooh.
Two, that's going to be Trill. So
Roll shitty, please.
Oh boy. 26.
That hits.
Yeah. 19 damage.
The Trill takes 19 damage.
Yikes.
And Trill is shocked that right at the beginning of this interaction, Mag has turned around and just smacked her
And Mag is probably mumbling some.
with the maul.
Try to get it in through the.
And Trill sees the fogginess in Mag's eyes.
absolutely. You look in Mag's eyes and she looks bananas.
Oh no.
The next person that Mag is going to be attacking as she swings wildly at everybody around her is Istin.
Yeah, Mag, having hit Trill, whips her head around to Istin. You too. What? Shouldn't I have? And that's a 22.
That will not hit.
You've got
Praise
fucking attack of opportunity. I can't move. Fuck.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good question. Are they going to use reactions is the question. No, confused, you can't delay, ready, or use reactions.
Oh, good.
So Trill
okay.
looks at Mag, sees her state of mind in her eyes, and comes to the conclusion that Mag is has no ability to react to anything that Trill does.
Phew.
I just flipped another coin. Mag is attacking Trill for her third action.
All right. So yeah, as the maul clangs to the floor, and then Mag whips her head back around to Trill and says, "But it shouldn't have been you if it wasn't." And that's an 18 on the die for a 23.
Thankfully, with all of that multiple attack penalty, that's a miss.
Awesome.
Yeah, aren't you glad you don't use a more maneuverable weapon? It's like, so Mag, by this third attack, you're swinging wild. The maul is so heavy, and by the time you're attacking with it a third time, it's like your ability to hit the target is basically not there anymore.
Yeah. So Mag swings the maul and misses high. It's like a baseball bat swing, but it's like 1.5 feet above Trill's head. And it just goes crashing into the wall above her.
And as the maul crashes into the wall above Trill, it is Trill's turn.
Okay. So this is now a tricky situation. I think Trill's going to start with, instead of Inspire Courage, Trill's going to start with Dirge of Doom. So Trill's going to go ahead and use her Lingering Comp for Dirge of Doom to see if that can mess with the baddies. So Lingering Comp, that was a 28, so that was a success.
Okay, and what that means is that anybody within 30 feet of you, any foes within 30 feet of you are going to be frightened 1. The moment that that you cast this spell, the Sugathi flinches back and you get the sense that they are frightened. But the Grothlet seems unaffected as they just mindlessly
he's
go.
Mindless. Okay. And next thing that Trill's going to do, Trill knows that Mag's not going to be able to do anything, so Trill's going to move actually over towards where Ao is. And for Trill's last action, she's actually going to cast her shield. Just to kind of, she's feeling a little nervous about what could happen here, so shield is what she wants right now.
So Trill's terrifying song reverberates around this cylindrical chamber, and she raises a shield as she positions herself to get away from her most dangerous friend,
and her dearest friend. So sad.
The Elena Ferrante joint we're all waiting for.
My confused friend.
My confused friend. At this point, I think the Sugathi gets the sense that Ao is in a strange frame of mind. So the Sugathi whips its tail around and rubs the long sword that it's holding onto with a bit of saliva, coating it in this corrosive
Action 1.
dripping saliva. And then it crawls forward. It sort of skitters forward on its millipede legs and reaches its longsword out to cut at Ao as it says,
"Come with us."
it's a 17 to hit.
It's a miss. Ao dodges.
Ao, foggy-minded, still manages to dodge out of the way. It is now Isthin's turn.
Ooh, okay. He's going to start things off by chanting an incantation.
Sorry, he's going to start things off by making a will save.
Doing
Making
a
a
will
will
save,
save.
yes.
So here's the will save.
I got a 2 on the die for a 14, so I'm going to use my hero point on this.
Okay.
Having both of our melee fighters confused would be suboptimal, I think.
Fact.
So Isthin digs deep and tries this again.
22?
Isthin feels this fog encroaching further onto his mind, shakes it off, and feels clear-headed. On
Awesome.
success, you're immune to this mind fog aura for a minute.
Oh,
Nice.
heck yeah. Worth it. Cool. He is going to then...
Oh, yeah, I should have mentioned this is episode 104, so we're in use it or lose it territory, so...
Even better. Yeah, he's going to cast a telekinetic maneuver at the Sugathi. So with a rush of telekinetic power, you move a foe or something they carry. You can attempt to disarm, shove, or trip the target using a spell attack roll instead of an athletics check. So he's going to try and shove the... Maybe... I'm trying to keep the Sugathi, away from Ao and Trill. So I was thinking I'd shove. But
All
maybe a trip might be better?
What do you think?
And then I started looking at disarm. There's just so many shiny things to pick from.
Just take more than 3 actions, man. Just do like 5 or 6.
You know,
Lars will be okay with that.
would that I had prepared haste today to do so. I'm gonna attempt to trip and
All right.
mess with its action economy, because then it'll at least have to get back up. So here we go. 18 on the die for a 30.
30 versus its reflex DC. That's enough to knock it prone. So you mentally reach out telekinetically, flip it over, and the Sugathi starts waving its millipede legs in the air as it goes in your mind.
Like,
Yeah,
I just
I'm sort of
don't care.
imagining Istin like just raises his hand and a blast of force comes out, knocking its whole undercarriage out from it. And then with his last action, he's going to enter his Arcane Cascade stance, because I think this is going to be a tough fight. And so that will give him, I believe, force damage, because the last spell I cast was an evocation spell. And as we know, force damage is good against everything.
I love these like little details of the Magus as you're
Yeah,
playing
it's got a
this
lot
through.
going on.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's very fiddly. But
I
it's
like it.
fun.
As Istin drops into this magically enhanced stance, it is now Ao's turn, and I need Ao to please make a will save.
That's an 18, but I'm going to use a hero point as well to redo that. That's a 16. How's that?
That's a failure. And as you fail that will save, you become confused. You can't tell friend from foe. However, the Sugathi on his back lurches forward and starts whispering to Ao,
Kill the gnome! Kill the gnome!
and uses its command confusion reaction
Yikes.
to have you target a specific character rather than choosing randomly. If the chosen target is the confused creature's ally, the creature can immediately attempt a will save.
Meaning Trill does that, correct?
No, you do it. As you're like, I don't want to fight Trill, you're making a will save to fight
it's
off
you I
that
want.
attack.
And unfortunately, that's a 13. Each of these rolls is getting worse. We're just going down, 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 down.
So, I believe Ao is wielding chompers right now, probably.
She had the kukri in her hand.
She had the
was
kukri.
fiddling with that.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Ao has to attack Trill thrice with the kukri.
Yikes.
I don't like this.
Now, though, the dice are doing great. That was a 34.
That definitely that is oh, thank goodness.
Whoa.
With her fancier with the shield up, that is just avoids being a crit.
Amazing.
Thank God.
Amazing.
I put that
So
shield
good
up.
play. Yeah. Holy crap.
Wow.
Woo. So how much damage am I taking?
5 points on that one.
Okay.
Trill, I want you to remember that you can use the shield block reaction while you have your shield up.
Oh, what is the shield block reaction? I don't think I've ever actually been hit when I had my shield up.
I know. So this shield, because it's heightened to 3rd level, has a hardness of 10, means that it will absorb 10 points of damage. But after you do that, your spell sort of goes and you can't cast shield again.
Yeah, I think I do need to hold on to it because since she's going to hit me 2 more times.
Okay. So Trill holds her shield firm. Ao's kukri glances against the magical shield and Ao strikes again.
Next time's a 21.
Miss.
And last time
Kill the gnome!
is a 22.
Miss. Phew.
I don't want to stab her. I want to stab you. Ao is screaming.
And as Ao screams that out, the grothlet starts bellowing.
We all know that means.
It's issuing its piteous moan, and it gloops forward across this metal platform towards Trill
No.
and brings
I
a
don't have a
claw out
reaction
to strike
anymore.
her. Let's say 16 to hit.
That's a miss. Thank God.
Trill fending off attacks left and right as we hit the top of round 2.
Whew.
Our heroes are lining the circular walkway of this large stairway with a Sugathi and a Grothlet in the middle. They are both untouched, as two of our heroes are confused. At the beginning of Mag's turn, she is now no longer confused, and I need Mag to make a will save. As Mag feels her mind fog up once more.
29.
29 succeeds as you shake off the mental invasion of this large worm-like scientist. And then Mag hears that, and I need her to make another will save. As the Grothlet's piteous moan starts testing her mettle.
And I'm out of focus points. So I can't
used
counter that.
I used my consumable that would have helped me with these will saves against the devils. So that's a shame-o. 15 on the will save to the Grothlet.
Okay. So what that means is that Mag is so disturbed by this moan that she becomes sickened 1. Her numbers go down by 1, and she can spend an action to do a fortitude save, which is obviously a much better save for Mag, to attempt to retch against this same effect.
But I can do that fort save. I can retch whenever.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it right now.
It's just until you retch, you feel queasy and you're a little less effective.
Sure. Mag is not going to take the time to do that because there's a lot of business to tend to here. We still have one confused party member, and we have this enormous Sugathi monster who's totally unharmed.
I would point out also that Mag was only confused for one round. And so Ao may follow that pattern.
If she
must
passes
snap
her
out of
save
it.
at the beginning of her turn.
Right.
Like Mag just did.
Oh, you passed your save. That's what it was.
I did.
Man, so confusing. Too many things.
Yeah. So confused.
A lot of things. These two lumpy weirdos are really putting you through a lot of things.
I don't care for it.
Can I tell you?
It.
I love it. I think these guys are great. I love these two. I want them
You
to go on
love
the
it
road
when
of
we
the
get
comedy.
smacked about.
Well, I
Whose
just
side
like
are
it.
you on?
What I like, I'm on the side.
He's on his side.
Listen, I don't need to answer that question. I just want it to be
He's on
fun.
nobody's side.
And I just figure if I'm having fun, there's a really good chance that other people are having fun. That's the best yardstick
Someone
I
out
have.
there.
Someone's got to be enjoying this.
The Sugathi guard is already tripped, right?
Yes, quite
The
tripped.
Sugathi is tripped, yeah.
Well, then there's no need to knock it down. Now is there?
Is there?
Is there? Okay, Mag is gonna rage where she is.
Okay.
She's then gonna move to a position that's very central in the fray, primarily just to put a body between the monster and Trill.
Aww.
It's less than ideal being next to confused Ao or preventing confused Ao from hitting the Sugathi, but it is better because it is something of a human shield for Trill, who is very exposed to these monsters right now. Although nobody can touch Trill. Third is going to
Living
be
in Trill's world.
Trill's tanking.
yeah. Trill's tanking again. Third action is going to be a maul strike against the Sugathi,
Okay. The prone Sugathi.
and that's a 33 to hit.
That is a critical hit.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent.
He's a thinker, not a fighter.
Give you a terrible crit damage roll, only 22 damage, but because of the crit, the target becomes clumsy 1 and enfeebled 1 from the crushing rune.
All right.
So good.
As your maul sinks into the Sugathi, you feel that its sort of segmented carapace deflects a bit of the damage. It seems like it is resisting some of this bludgeoning damage.
You said carapace. Gross.
I love that word.
Mixed reviews on the word carapace.
It's a great
Mixed
word.
reviews on it resisting bludgeoning damage.
Not
that's a
mixed
really
reviews.
big
No mixed
thing for
reviews
me.
there. We all feel the same.
Yeah.
2 stars.
So, Mag bashes at this prone Sugathi, and it is then Trill's turn. As her shield dissipates, I need you to please make this will save as you feel your mind begin to get fogged.
Since she's moved like into the space around the Sugathi, she now affects her as well.
Yep.
Okay. That was a 3 on the die. So guess what? Use it or lose it, my friends, right?
That's my understanding.
I think Trill
they
is
say.
going to need to. I'm going to use a hero point on that because I have 2 left, so I may as well use one. And that was much better. That was a 30 with a critical success.
That's why you use a hero point.
That's how you do it. Trill shakes off the confusion and is clear-headed enough to hear "Oh," as she has to make this will save against the Glorotholet's piteous moan.
Ugh.
Get fucked.
And that's a 4 on the die. However, I'll take the sickening over the confusion.
Okay, so Trill and Mag both are like as this truly just horrible creature makes you care about it enough for you to get sick.
I hate Grothlets. Ooh.
Okay, now on to Trill's actual turn. I think the first thing Trill's going to do is recall knowledge on the Sugathi to see if she can figure out maybe what their weaknesses are.
Sure, give me a blind occultism check, please.
Oh, occultism, you ask? That sounds
right.
great.
Yeah.
Sold.
As Trill searches through her memory, has she ever seen or heard of anything like this before? Yeah, this is a Sugathi. You know that Sugathis, generally speaking, are scholars. This one does not look that way at all. This looks like if Sugathis have jocks, this is the Sugathi jock. The thing that you know about Sugathis is that they are alien things spawned by other alien things. They're like a tier down. There's like a strange alien lineage that they are derived from. But the number one thing you know about them is that they are obsessive. If there's something they're focused on, they will do it for as long as it takes.
So that would be killing me right now.
People talking about Sugathis are like, I don't even know what this Sugathi is doing. For some reason, this Sugathi has spent 7 centuries counting the rocks in this cave. Whatever it is that their mind is set to, they will do it. In terms of physical weaknesses, there isn't much of anything. If you'd like, I can give you saves, though.
Yeah, let's take their save.
Their low save is will.
Okay, so we're looking at will save. So Trill's gonna actually, now she's done that, Trill's gonna cast Daze on the Sugathi. She's seeing everyone else get all confused, so Trill's going to, with her lute, play something a little atonal to try and throw off this Sugathi. Let's cast that Daze. That's going to be 10 damage.
Max damage.
DC 21 will save.
Very good die roll. I pass, so I will only take half of that. Which,
Okay.
this is when I say, whoops. The Sugathi took none of this mental damage because they're immune to mental effects, which means you guys got a freebie on the frightened. They shouldn't have been able to get frightened this entire time. So
Ooh.
if you'd like to, Robin,
Okay.
I'll throw a mea culpa your way. But essentially, Dirge of Doom wound up doing not much of anything because both of these creatures are immune to mental effects. So as soon as you feel like it's safe to
So does that
boost
mean
your allies,
you're getting my focus point back?
no.
Aw. Oh. I thought you were going to give me my focus point back. Yeah, I will say though, Lars,
Yeah.
it's a little frustrating because I wouldn't have cast Daze if I had that information.
Yeah, so I'll give it to you back. I'll give that back to you. That's fine. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Take
we
the
can
spell
roll that back?
Roll it back.
Cool, thank you.
I messed up. You're
Thank
good to
you
go.
for being
Rewind.
you are a
Rewind.
fair and just a fair and just
Remix.
golden tyrant.
Remix. Yeah, I screwed up. You can do it again.
So nothing with a mental effect.
Correct.
Boink.
So let me look back through for a moment.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Go back through your phone book. How's everybody doing
Yang
tonight?
yang
It's a
bonobo.
beautiful spring afternoon. Can you believe it?
I got a riddle for you guys.
Okay, what's your riddle?
Ooh.
Which store
Okay.
does the alien star spawn hang out at the mall?
Let's see. I've got a bad answer. It's Starbucks. That doesn't really make any sense.
Claire's? Everyone likes Claire's. The earrings are so affordable.
Yeah,
Oh, Yankee Candle?
it's probably Yankee Candle
The answer
Company.
is Hot Topic, because they're so gothy.
Oh, no, I liked that a lot more than I wanted
It's a custom
to.
joke, though. That was good.
It was a custom joke for the exact situation. That's all I've been asking for with these puns, guys. I just want tailored puns. That's all I'm looking for.
Oh, more specificity. My God.
All of my spells are mental effects.
Then do something else. Don't you have a spell that does damage or
Fine.
something?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was trying to debuff rather than just attack. That's the
Well,
thing. Like, I like
Yeah.
to debuff first.
Yeah.
The problem is all of my debuffs are mental.
Yeah. You're in uncharted waters now.
When Trill realizes she can't debuff, Trill goes electric.
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Cool.
Exactly. Trill goes electric and is going to electric arc both these motherfuckers' asses.
Cool. Electric arc those asses. How much damage am I looking at from this electric arc?
That's gonna be 9 damage. Damn it.
Okay, as the Sugathi and the Grothlet attempt to dodge out of the way, the Grothlet rolls an 8 on the saving throw. Grothlet's not very agile.
So that's a critical failure.
Okay, so they're going to take double damage. The Sugathi rolls a 25 as all of its myriad feet start tripping around and skating out of the way, dodging out of the way of a good chunk of that damage. But you are
Ew.
doing double damage to the Grothlet and then half damage to the Sugathi.
Okay, so that's 18 to the Grothlet and 4 for the Sugathi.
Okay.
And that's Trill's turn.
It's the end of Trill's turn as the Sugathi is going to attempt to stand up to get back on its feet.
Yep. Attack of opportunity, right? Isn't that what we're
Yes, attack of opportunity.
So here it is. Bash. Smash. The
A fumble card because you fumbled hard.
Slow start on this fight.
hero
Slow
point.
start.
Reroll.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bash. 7 on the dice. 21. Does that gonna do it?
Well, tell you what, that misses only because you feel your stomach cramp up, just like "Argh," as the sickened condition leads you to miss that strike.
Sure.
The Sugathi, now that it's on its feet, extends its saliva-coated longsword and swings it at Mag. That's a 19 to hit.
Nope. 19 will not hit, even with the sickened and rage lowered AC.
Great.
You're gonna have to do better than that. Mags thinks and says
This
and
okay.
sings.
You're going to have to do better than that.
So this Sugathi
Da-da-da-da.
starts moving around, happy to go toe to toe with Mag as it starts sort of dancing back and forth, taking on a sort of defensive position, and then swings forward and tries to bite Mag. That's a 14 to hit.
14's lower than 19.
Okay. So
Hit though?
the Sugathi stands up, dodges an attack, swings a sword, and bites Mag. Nobody hitting anybody, and it is now Isthen's turn.
Cool. Isten is going to stride forward to stand next to Mag in trying to block off Ao from the Sugathi.
At the beginning of Isthen's turn, first, before you do that, though, I'd like you to make this will save as you hear,
Yeah. Piteous moan. Very piteous.
Pretty assist.
20 on the die.
Okay.
Woof.
Isthen's feeling good.
So yeah, he will stride in, and then he will attempt to do a spell strike on the Grothlet, shouting as he does, Mag, if we can take down the Grothlet, we can then focus on the Sugathi. And so he's going to use Produce Flame and make a spell
And burn a
strike.
bitch.
Yeah. Let's hope this goes better than his first spell strike did. Well, that went significantly better than his first spell strike did. That is a 20 on the die.
Woo!
Okay.
So many dice roll. Anytime Armat does something successfully, it turns out 100 million dice roll.
You gotta draw.
Wow, okay.
Nice.
This crit card is called Bell Ringer. It's a crit effect if you want to use it instead of the push. The target is sickened 2, and it is stupefied 2 until it is no longer sickened. Do you want that, or do you want the push, the shove?
No, let's do the bell ringer. I like that.
Okay. So you somehow sicken this Grothlet with this strike. Let's just go ahead and talk about all the damage. First, you hit with the staff. How much damage are we talking about there?
36 points of bludgeoning and force.
Okay. How much fire damage?
9 points of fire damage, and I believe it also causes 3d4 persistent fire damage.
And the Grothlet catches fire. So I just want to tell you how this happens. Isthin yells out to Mag, "Focus on the Grothlet," right? How does Mag react to that? Isthin shouting this strategy out at you.
Mag does not think so. Mag has been focusing on the Sugathi because that's what she thinks is the thing to focus on. So she's kind of like, whatever, you know?
Isthin reaches back and bam, just slams the hell out of this Grothlet. It catches fire, an explosion reaches out into the air, and then the Grothlet starts to shake around as pockets of flesh expand on it, and it blows up in a disgusting demise, coating Mag with its organic digestive juices.
Ew.
And we will pick up from there next time.
Speaking of sick
Yeah, it might be time for Mag to try retching. Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way, and we are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in the Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. On our website, tabletopgold.com, you can learn more about us and our shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.